Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can Fly. Hey, listen, let's go back over to Lincoln Park and have some lunch. I'm starving!
Oh my goodness, Russ Can Fly.
Okay, so I know I haven't done an intro in my laboratory where I do all of my greatest editing and all this kind of stuff. Yes, this is where I do all my video production right here, you know, in my studio with all my expensive cameras and stuff like that. But at any rate, yeah, I was sitting here and I'm thinking, man, you know, I'm a little hungry. It's about 10 o'clock or so. So I figured, you know what? Let's go on over to the airport. Let's pull Charlie out of the hangar. Let's go have some lunch. I really didn't have anything planned. Been trying to think about, you know, scheduling my instrument rating training classes, and trying to do some ground school stuff. So I woke up this morning and, you know, was doing some of that kind of thing. And my brain is just turning to mush as I'm just looking at approach plates and trying to brief them and all of that kind of stuff, understanding minimum descent altitudes and decision altitudes and decision heights. And then my stomach started growling like, wait, I thought I just ate breakfast. Like, what's going on? So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go have some lunch. And where haven't I taken Charlie to yet? Haven't gone to Lincoln Park. So, you know, nice quick flight. Know they've got an awesome place to eat. Haven't been there for a while. So you know what? That's a great maintenance flight. You know, just something to get the oil warm. Nice little quick cross country. So let's go over to the airport. Let's pull Charlie out and let's make magic happen. To Lincoln Park we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get ourselves situated here. Light gonna come on. Anti-collision's gonna come on, nav's gonna come on, fuel pump is on. Clear prop! Alright, very good. Good thing it's not as cold. How's everybody doing? I'm good, but I'm starving. So that's why I don't want to fly too long either. So, and I will say, instrument training, man, hits different. It really does, man. I was just like, wow. And at one point, you know, as you will see, you know, I won't be trying to do much with the video. I'll do as much as I can. Is that little Sammy up there? It sure is. Look up there. Look who it is. It's little Sammy. November 904-006. All right, so I think they're just up there doing their run up and whatnot.
Sound traffic, Cessna 904-006, departing to the north on runway 23. Delta traffic.
904-006. Great little airplane. Glad to see that airplane running and doing well. Being used as a trainer. Awesome. Awesome little airplane. Alright, doors and windows locked. Mixture is full rich. Taxi landing light comes on, fuel pump comes on, carb heat is cold, doors and windows are locked, transponders route 1, lights as required.
Those on traffic, Cherokee 41 Charlie, are you ready to go or can we go ahead of you?
I'm ready to go, I'm just waiting for 904-006 to call crosswind.
Okay, thanks.
How you doing, Mike?
Oh great, how are you?
Good. Doorstown traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, departing runway 23 out to the northeast, Doorstown. Alright. I see 23.
Traffic, final
23. Alright, hills to the floor, full power. Alright, engine instruments in the green. Fuel pressure, oil temp, oil pressure. All look good. Airspeed is alive. Okay, so one of the things you may see me do is put a little bit of crosswind correction in as I started my takeoff roll. And I knew I had to do that because that wing started to get light, so wanted to make sure I was on top of that. Doorstown traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie. Right crosswind turn out to the northeast. Last call, Doorstown. Now this has never happened to me before, but watch how this camera begins to swing a little bit. And remember how I tell you I always, you know, just focus on flying? Well, you can see me look at this camera. I see it moving, but I'm just like, whatever. I'll have to get to it later. But look where this thing is.
All right. Taxi landing light can come off. Fuel pump can come off. All right, just letting her climb on out. Nope.
And now that I'm past the takeoff phase, I fix it.
Had a little camera issue. I didn't even realize it had flipped around on me. What you doing, camera? But you know, takeoff is too important, and there's a lot of people out today, and so definitely got to be on the lookout for traffic for sure. And I got somebody. There we go. Got the traffic in sight.
As you can see, it's a gorgeous day, so there's a lot of people out and about, and so traffic spotting was very, very important. You know, one of the things as you see me looking around, you know, I am definitely making sure I am dialed in and looking for all the traffic I see floating around the area.
Hey, there's a lot of people out today. All right, so we're climbing on out up to 9,500, and just again paying attention to traffic. Doing a nice 95 knot climb. Got her trimmed out nicely. All right, had more traffic in my way. Man, got it like zigzag, like crazy. It's like what I'm trying to do is look at that diamond. All right, 200 to go.
And in preparation for my first instrument training, I'm definitely trying to understand how that diamond operates. That wind correction diamond, I believe that's what it is. You know, which way I have to turn and that kind of thing. So that's part of what this flight is as well. Making sure I am, you know, flying with some precision and trying to understand what some of the instrumentation is doing just in terms of holding my altitude and heading. I definitely want to try to be as prepared as possible.
All right, so we're good. Just trying to get, oh, look at that little lake out there. So this is the sight picture, pretty much straight level. And as you can see, I'm just trying to dial in my my trim. All right, so we're at 2430 on the tachometer. We're at 5,500 feet. And we are, it's like 141 knots over the ground. True airspeed 128. Indicated 120. And yeah, all right, so we got to go down.
I've been to Lincoln Park before, and one of the things that I forgot is the last time I went, I think I went in Little Sammy, and so I'm used to, you know, having more time to get there. But, you know, I got there quickly, but the other thing I had to be concerned about was the Newark Airport Bravo shelf. So that's why I'm like, wait, I gotta get on top of this because I got an airspace message.
Actually go down to 2,500. So pull some power here. Gonna have to cheat over a little bit too. You gotta go down. You gotta go down. Gotta go down, brother. So you can see this is a real quick flight. But I got Newark over here, so I really gotta go down. And I gotta make sure. Alright, yep, just kinda going down. Gonna do cross midfield for a left downwind. And TPA is 1100. Oh man, it's so beautiful. Man, flying is just so beautiful. These cameras just don't even capture half of the beauty. But it's funny, I'm not as intimidated to fly into Lincoln Park because I mean it's definitely a very short field, narrow displacement threshold. Now I don't have to do the most challenging runway because the challenging runway is runway 1. I'm going to be landing on runway 9, so that's a little easier to deal with.
And what I meant to say was runway 19er, not 9er, because that's the reciprocal of runway 1, right? So yeah, runway 19er, Russ.
I was going to go to Sky Acres, but again, all right, 1,000 to go. But a little bit more involved. Didn't want to push myself too much. So if you look out front here, you can just see I'm just going down And the one thing I remember about Lincoln Park is, you know, there's definitely some ridges over here and stuff, so you got to be careful for sure. Yay! Oh yeah, somebody's up 1,000. So yeah, so it's been a real windy time, and so there's a lot of people flying today. And yeah, this is a short hop. Still counts as a cross country, but I'm not too much worried about that. I got plenty of cross country time at this point. And so that was the only thing I can remember back in the day, is like having to fly a little lower and definitely being challenged by that. I pulled some power. Indicated airspeed was kind of jumping up there a little bit. So you can see I'm bouncing around a little bit. A lot of that just has to do with the fact that I'm a little lower, and that was the thing that kind of freaked me out when I was flying here, especially in Little Sammy. Now I will say Little Sammy, 94006, perfect airport. There's a nice narrow runway, and I think I got Newark, like maybe New York over there too. And so one thing I definitely want to do is dial in my speed. So I'm good on my altitude. This is definitely one of those times where I want to make sure that my altitude is dialed in for sure. And I got some airplanes coming my way. Okay, so I'm below the Bravo shelf, and I'm outside of that Delta Southwest. Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, about 10 southwest of the field, inbound from runway 19, Lincoln Park. And so I remember this ridge from last time. So you look right out here, there's like this ridge. So it's gonna get real squirrely around here. See, I told you, I remember this. But I got airspaces and aircraft, and I definitely feel more confident in Charlie. I got you. All right, I got somebody right out in front of me, right out here, that's like right at the same altitude. Okay, so they're crossing right to left. So we're good that way. Yeah, you can see that ridge and how it just kind of comes down. Lincoln Park is over that way. Definitely looking forward. Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, about 5 southwest of the field, going to overfly midfield for a left down for runway 19er, Lincoln Park. All right, we can start descending. All right, mixture's going to go full rich. Fuel pump is going to come on. Taxi landing light is going to come on. We're going to go over to the left main. Left main is in. I think I got the field in sight. 1,000 to go. Yep, got the field in sight. Like right off my nose here. And you can see right out here, see this highway? That's just crazy. And Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, crossing midfield for left downwind for runway 19er, Lincoln Park. All right, let's start slowing her down. We're at TPA. And Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, left downwind runway 19er, Lincoln Park. Collapse, power to 1500. Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, left base, runway 19er, Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, final 19er, Lincoln Park.
Okay, so we are lined up on final, and it's time to put Charlie on the ground. And yeah, it's a short runway, so don't have a lot of time to mess around. So cue the music, let's get on the ground.
A little faster than I want to be. Get on the brakes. Get on the brakes. And Lincoln Park traffic, Cherokee 1541 Charlie, clear of runway 19er, Lincoln Park. All right. Landing light comes off, fuel pump comes off, and so we are here. Now there's a couple airplanes that are just definitely interesting to see. We're gonna go up next to Whiskey Tango here.
Okay, so as I pull on up and make my turn, pulling up to this nice Cirrus, definitely thinking, what do I remember about the menu? Definitely great things to eat. So definitely pulling on up, and I'm gonna shut her down and get some food.
All right, so got to get out of here quick because I got to push back. All right.
So let me push this back because somebody's waiting for me back here. So I had to hurry up and get out of the airplane because if you see that yellow line right there, that's where somebody was trying to taxi past me. So I had to get out of the way. And so I'm like, yep, let's get Charlie pushed back so I can get her parked and get her chalked and get into the restaurant. So yeah, it was like a big rush. And you see my chocks over there to the right. So yeah, so it was kind of interesting, and I will say I was so happy that the flight school and the student who had landed was so patient to let me push the airplane back, get it chalked, and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I didn't even turn the cameras off. I just got right out of the airplane. All right, let's eat. Okay, so I wanted to do all that stuff, get that stuff taken care of before I got out of the airplane in earnest, because it is crowded. But there was somebody coming in, but that looks like that was a student. So anyway, welcome to Lincoln Park. Let's go get some food. I am starving, and sorry about this camera. I don't know what it was doing. It was just not happy and not in a good place. It just kind of cut off, but whatever. So let's go in, let's get some food. And yeah, here we go. All right, so let's go on over, get something to eat. And man, I am starving. I gotta text Brandon real quick, let him know I'm here. I missed him before he came. He's gonna be at the airport. It's a big boy flying over there. So, but yeah, we've been here before. Awesome place. But yeah, real quick flight. Great place. So let's go eat. Okay, so before I dig in, I know a lot of times when I do these flights and I come get food, a lot of times I don't show the food before I dig in because I'm so starving. So look at this. This is absolutely amazing. So this is a drunken chicken sandwich. Got some onion rings on the side. Had to do some onion rings and a little side salad to make this less guilty. But really, this is like pretty amazing. And like, I've never come to Lincoln Park and been disappointed at the food at all. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and dig in because that was the reason why I came here, and I'm starving. But yeah, I'll see you on the other side of me putting this down. Okay, so as you can see by that picture, holy smokes, and believe it or not, that was considered the small. I can't imagine what like a bigger size would be like. I mean, my goodness, that thing was huge. So one of the things that I'm curious about is when I take off, I think I'm going to have to go out this way and then like really do a nice quick right crosswind turn out, because right on the other side of these trees is like a Class Bravo. Well, the Class Bravo shelf is above me, so I'm not worried about that. But right to the right straight off of runway 19 is a Class Delta airport, and of course their airspace is surface to 2700. So that's why it's going to be really important to make sure that I be mindful of the airspace out this way. So that was the one thing I will say, is that landing runway 1 is more difficult, because as you can see those trees out there. But at least when it was time to take off, when you took off, you're out this way and you didn't have to worry about breaking airspace as much. Out this way, you definitely have to be a little bit more mindful. So that's something I'm going to definitely be paying attention to. So yeah, so that was like really crazy. So I'm going to go over here and just see the flight school, because I've never done that before. Okay, so I'm back to Doylestown, and it's interesting. I didn't want to do the outro there. I figured I would wait until I get back to Doylestown, and gonna get Charlie pushed back into the hangar. But it was interesting, man. People are getting real twitchy. So you know how I was doing that, showing you like the runways and all of that kind of stuff. Well, as I was basically, standing there, explaining, I hear this, "Sir, sir, sir. And I look over and this guy, and he's waving his hands and stuff. And he's like, you can't be out there. And I'm like, okay. And it's just, it's just weird. Like, the world is just, the energy in the world is just really strange. So of course he came out, and I didn't want to get all indignant. He's just doing his job, but he was like, yeah, you can't be out here. And I was like, you're not authorized to be out here. And I'm like, well, even if I have my airplane sitting over there. And he was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. No. I mean, and so it was just interesting. I've never had that experience before, and it's weird. He did explain to me that apparently there's a new owner to, like, I don't know, the airport, the restaurant, I'm not exactly sure. So the other person who owned it was probably a little bit more relaxed, because like I said, I'd never seen this before. But I guess the new owner at Lincoln Park must be a little more twitchy. So just to know, whoever you are that owns Lincoln Park or whatever, the guy did his job. He checked to make sure that I was supposed to be out there, and I was. But it was just a really interesting thing. So just a lot of interesting things happening. So just pray. That's all I can say. Just pray. We're gonna be fine. We'll get past whatever this spirit, is, because it's unwelcome and it's unnecessary. And I don't think it's of a good thing at all. So at any rate, gonna put this back on Charlie and get her pushed back in the hangar, and just wonderful day. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for supporting and commenting and watching and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. All right, I'm out. Russ can fly. I'm out. Peace.